Guys, welcome back to DeFi, Degens, Drip, and Farm for Poverty, where on this channel, our vision is to empower the impoverished by helping you find financial freedom through crypto assets. Please subscribe and leave a comment and a thumbs up. Hey guys, welcome back to DeFi, Degens, Drip, and Farm for Poverty. So today's video, we are going to be playing with fire. That's right, we're going to get into it and find out what this actually means and how you can use it to create the life of your dreams and financial independence, retire early lifestyle that you really want. And I believe that's why everybody is here in DeFi. Maybe the get rich quick scheme, or it's the idea of cutting the 9 to 5 and actually having financial independence, retire early. This is not an acronym I came up with. This actually goes back about 20 years ago now. So the idea came from this financial investment book with Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez, where they're telling people how to start saving for their lifestyle that they want and how to cut back on expenses and, get into safe investments and things of that nature to create this financial freedom versus waiting till the traditional retirement age of 65 to 70. But what's really cool is with the introduction of DeFi and crypto, this has been accelerated, and I mean accelerated dramatically. And I'm going to show you in this video how fast you can get it done specifically with the drip ecosystem. So in normal, traditional FIRE, you would be looking at 5 to 10 years and some extreme measures of savings and investing in order to get to this lifestyle that you want by your 40s. But with drip ecosystem, we can look at literally 1 year from now or as little as 1 month from now. And I'm going to use some numbers to show you just how realistic that is. So if you want to play with fire and you want to do it as soon as 1 month, I'm going to tell you exactly how much money you need to get there. And if you have more time than money, how little you can put up in 1 year where you can be at. And I'm going to use real numbers from real use cases of cost and expensive so you can actually see how this works. Now, of course, this is not financial advice, but there is a lot of value in this video in using some of the traditional cost basis to get to these metrics. So if you've been following me for a while, you're familiar with my idea of the franchise model and using basically the ecosystem as a kind of an hourly wage, because that's just easy for a lot of people to wrap their heads around, since as we all get started in our jobs, we're usually trading time for money. We punch a clock or get a salary, and then they give us in exchange some money. So using that analogy, I decided to look up what the minimum wage was for various countries. And on average, back in 2020, we had a minimum wage, depending on where you live, this came out to, let me see the exact number, $9.93. So we're just going to say $10. So I just went ahead and added these up. Obviously, living in different places will cost different amounts. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to use a $10 to $12 minimum wage range. And then obviously, depending on where you live, you will have to have different expenses. But the whole purpose of this video is to show you that you may not have to live where you currently are, and you could have a much more rich lifestyle if you just packed your bags and went somewhere else. Obviously, those with family and obligations that can't do that, of course you can't do that, but you can start preparing to do that and have a much more rich life if you're not wasting 30% of your salary on property tax or something ridiculous you don't need. So we're going to be using the $8 to $12 range, and 10 being the median, because that's also what drip is at, and looking at that as kind of the salary, so to speak. So when we look at drip, this is my my garden balance, right? So as of right now, I'm making $6.55 per hour in plants. So I'm using the drip garden price right now as your quicker means to FIRE, financial independence, retire early, because this is a leverage play. So the only requirements for going down this rabbit hole is that you are willing to take risk and play with capital that you could afford to lose, and you'd be willing to live somewhere else. Obviously, if you're trying to stay where you are, you can't retire as early because you have to change your expenses. So this is going to be based on a narrative of finding other places to live. So right now I'm going to show you what my balance is at 655 and how many plants I have. And that's 850,000 plants, right? At $6.50 per hour is what I get. But let's first take a look at some countries and some expenses. So just for some idea, there's 20 great places you can live for $2,000 or less per month. So remember I said that the golden range is $8 to $12 per hour. And the reason, again, I'm using that is because the sustainability factor for me is trying to get to that hourly wage and using the ecosystem to take your salary, because a 40-hour work week is a less aggressive 5 and 2 and slightly more aggressive 6 and 1 claim strategy. So this has been proven to be sustainable. So, and this is also an easy concept to wrap your head around. So if you're at $8, you're making $1,200 a month. We'll call it 13. And if you're at $12, you're almost making $2,000 a month, right? So literally with my balance right now, just for the drip garden, I'm right below that with 655. But regardless, let's take a look at some of the places you could move to. So Bulgaria is on the map. I haven't been to Eastern Europe, but heard it's really nice. South America, I visited quite a few countries in South America. I think that's dope. China, I only visited the main places in China, so I'm not sure. Colombia was really nice. I really enjoyed there. Super cheap. Costa Rica was awesome as well. Costa Rica, Nicaragua, man, those places are beautiful. So if you're in the U.S., South America, great place to move to. And they still speak English. So Croatia, visited there on a boat for a cruise ship. Didn't get to see much, but it was really nice. Dubrovnik, this place right here, actually, Dubrovnik, very nice. Ecuador, another South American place, haven't been there. Georgia, more Eastern European again. Greece, Hungary. So you can look at all these prices. They're like $700 per month, $400, and then they tell you what the cost is if you have kids. So this is based on people with families in a 1-bedroom apartment. So no rent, and then 1 bedroom, like $1,000 plus, whatever eating expenses are. So you can definitely get there under $2,000 and see a lot of really amazing stuff. So gives you a much more rich life to live. And you could actually travel to each one of these. So you stay in one of these countries for, a month or two, and then you do a couple more claims, get your plane ticket and fly to another one and start over. So this is just 20 countries. I'm not going through in grave detail, but want to show you that if you think outside the box, there are some really amazing places you could go to, and $2,000 is a drop in the bucket for the drip ecosystem and what it can do. So now how much do you need to get started? So that's where the drip garden comes in. So remember I said you can do it as quickly as 1 month or as long as 1 year. And I'm going to tell you exactly what those values are to get you started. So I'm using my wallet as a case study so you can see that. So right now, sitting in my wallet, 655. Now I found some random wallets from Dune Analytics. This one has 1 million plants. Let's wait for it to update. 1 million plants. Now I'll show you how much they're making per hour. Now, remember, this is based off of the drip price of being $10. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you some very compelling information on what the drip price actually can be. 1 year's worth of historical data. So stick around if you want to find out what that is. So this person with 1 million plants is making $8 an hour, right? So that's a pretty significant jump from where I'm at, from 6.5 to 8. And that hits right at the low part of my projection for, the sustainable lifestyle for 1 million plants. And I'm going to show you exactly how much it takes to get 1 million plants. But I want you to see the numbers here so you know where I got this stuff from. I'm not making this stuff up. As you guys know, I like to dig into the weeds and try to pull in some data that you can actually execute on. And this person's sitting right at 1.5 million. Again, I have no idea who these people are, but the whole point was just so that you could see what they're making. So at 1 million plants, we're at $8 an hour. At 1.5 million, we're at $12 an hour. Right there in the sweet spot of the minimum wage range that I told you guys about, and this sustainable income at any of these countries, right? So those countries I just listed showed you 20 destinations that are less than $2,000. There are tons more, but now you can see where that's at. Now the question is, how much will it cost you to get to, we'll call it 1 million, we'll go in the middle, 1.2 million plants. So that'll give you about $10 an hour, because that's what I was shooting for, $10 an hour being literally what one drip price is right now. Glad you asked. Let's take a look at that. So to get 1.25 to 6 million plants, it's going to cost you 600 drip BUSD LP. And 600 drip BUSD LP at today's prices is going to cost you $6,610. Just to show you, if I hit supply on here, it'll bring up the total amount of drip BUSD, which is 600 and some change, I think, at again today's prices. So with a $10 drip price, roughly, you can get started on your $10 per hour job for roughly $6,600. And why did I say 1 month from now? Well, because if you're familiar with the garden, about every month you double your balance. So that means your $6,600, if you compound every day, you will take your 1.2 million drip 1.2 million plants and double it to about 2.5 million, and you will definitely be comfortably still pulling that $10 per hour, of course, based off of the drip BUSD LP price. But again, stay tuned to the end of this video. I'm going to show you what the actual projected price floor of drip is on average for the year. So I literally ran the numbers of what drip has been over the course of a year and took that average, and you're going to be shocked at that price. So right there, $6,600 in 30 days from now, if you started right now with that amount, you would have 2.5 million plants, and you would comfortably be able to take out $10 per hour with the cost or price of drip where it's at now. Now, you may not have $6,600. I totally get that. What if you got more time than money? Good question. Well, let's look at what it would take to get you to 1 drip per hour and how long that would take. So I took the drip price of $10, 100 drip. So that's going to cost you right now roughly $1,100. Because remember, you're 10% tax. And if you go out to basically a year from now, you'll have roughly 3,000 drip in your deposits. But remember, you get 1% of that per day. After taxes, you're getting just over 24 a day, or 1 drip an hour. 1 drip an hour would be $10 an hour at these prices, right? So you see how all this ties together. So you can take the $1,100 investment route and wait a year from now and just hydrate and compound until then, and then financially independent, retire early. Or if you got some capital, you could literally start in as little as 30 days with $6,600. And that to me is super, super impressive for a platform like this. Like if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will, but maybe this last piece will. So let's take a look at what I did. So I went ahead and went onto the deck screener, like I usually show on my videos in here. And all I did was change this to weekly candles, right? The weekly candles will show me what the drip price was for the week. Then I went ahead and went in the middle and found out what the price was for each week. So it's kind of an average of speculation. You know, I could have picked 84 or 85 on this week or whatever. But either way, I took all these out over 52 weeks because that's a year. The cool thing about drip, it's been going on for longer than a year. Then I just plugged them into this calendar, or I'm sorry, in this chart here, right? So all of our projections so far were with a $10 drip price. Now, I bet you have no idea what the average price of drip has been for the last year. I didn't either. And I won't say it's the last year. Deck screener goes from 26 July. We know drip launched lower than that in April. But either way, we have 1 year's worth of data that we can use. And that's exactly what I pulled in. So it doesn't matter where we pull the 1 year as long as we're getting 1 year, because that's a pretty good historical amount. Remember also that drip did not have the utility that's been slotted for all of this for that year. And the farm has been paused, and we've had a quote unquote, not a recession, but at least some inflation. So I'm going to scroll down here and show you the average price of drip. So for the year, it has come out to $32.52 from the 26th of July. So a couple extra weeks to 15 August. That is insane. So remember, my cost projections were all based off a $10 drip. The average price for the last 56 weeks has been 3 times that amount. So you can 100% retire early. Literally, this would give you what you need in one of these countries for the month in 1 week. This is your monthly income. And remember, this is sustainable. This is sustainable. What do you call that? taking out profits responsibly, basically, because you're only doing it 40 hours a week. It's right between, like I said, a 5 and 2 and 6 and 1. Now, you could pick either one of those and change this up, but I just wanted to show it to you guys so you'd have an understanding of just how powerful the drip ecosystem is. This number is without any of the new utility. It's without the future projection of the bull run that can come from the macro environment with institutional capital coming. Like, this is insane. Like, I don't know what else to tell you guys. Now, granted, wherever you're living, this may not be enough. And you might have, 6 kids. I have no idea. But if you have the ability to cut ties with whatever you think society's telling you need to maintain for social status, and you're willing to travel the world, my God, you could live a very rich and fulfilling life in a number of countries. That alone is, like, to me, that's the juice in this financial independence, retire early. It's to do more of the things that you actually enjoy and experience things that you aren't able to because you're tied down to a 9 to 5, or that you have obligations or things of that nature, like that your job makes you do. So if you can all of a sudden get income from anywhere in the world, and you're not paying taxes to like state taxes and stuff like that, because your income is no longer tied to whatever your job is. And also, not financial advice, but in the IRS, if you're making money outside the U.S. and you live outside the U.S. for more than 330 days a year, it's non-taxable income, up to like $105,000, if I'm not mistaken. So look into that yourself. But there's a lot of opportunity here, and this is a drop in the bucket for Drip. So I just showed you that Drip has kept an average of $36. And I just showed you how you can get at least $10 an hour using the Drip price and $6,600 investment within 30 days, or just $1,100 right now and waiting a year by compounding and hydrating. So again, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will, but when I started looking at these numbers, I thought that was impressive. So hope you guys found this inspiring and entertaining, to say the least. And again, keep participating in the No Sell August Challenge. We're almost done, halfway through the month. Thank you all to those who got me to 2,000 subscribers, and those that will be interested in the scavenger hunt. So if you're still not subscribed, please subscribe. I'd like to share content like this, giving you guys a different perspective and a different kind of analysis than just the traditional hopium. Obviously, this is a little hopium, but using numbers that historically Drip reached, and with more people and more utility, why can't we reach it again? So this isn't even saying we're getting to all-time highs. This is just saying over the year, here's what you're averaging out, even with these subpar Drip numbers that we had for half of the year. So remember, half of this was below that price. Well, not exactly half, but a decent amount. If we go back over here, yeah, probably half. So if we look at, yeah, you get what I mean. So if we add these up, we probably had half below that average, which would make sense for an average, right? So I believe it's sustainable. So we will see what the future holds, but super excited. So speaking of excitement, be sure to lift daily and achieve your impossible. See you guys.